Your Eminence, in 2017, Pope Francis entrusted you with the mission of supporting the church recovery process in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. What were your initial impressions of the situation on the island?
Well, first of all, I was shocked by the devastation, uh, the total destruction of the infrastructure system for the utilities, but also the damage done to buildings and homes. And it really impressed upon me that a full effort had to take place. At the same time, I came away with a sense of hope because I saw the resiliency of Puerto Rican people. They were not giving up. They wanted to repair and to start again and see this as a fresh opportunity. So while I was very disappointed and shocked by the destruction, I came away very hopeful.
We know that the Catholic station has been a pillar in the reconstruction of churches and community spaces in Latin America and Puerto Rico. What have been the main challenge for us in this process?
Well, I think it was the fact that this was such an enormous project, and this is altogether different than any other project that Catholic Extension has been involved in. And so people here on the island and also Catholic Extension had to learn a new way, especially working with the federal government in order to secure these funds. So it was a matter of being patient, but also realizing that we're doing something altogether new. And it would take then an openness to learn how to operate in this different environment.
In a context where many communities still struggle with economic and social difficulties, how can the church continue to be an agent of resilience and company for the people of Puerto Rico?
Well, first of all, I think we have a long tradition of our social justice of supporting the rights of workers to organize, but also to make sure that they get a living wage. And we need to have that advocacy. But I also think that this project puts in the full view how we as a church, as leaders, can also take actions in this reconstruction project that's going to create a lot of jobs. This is going to have a tremendous economic impact on the island of Puerto Rico. When you talk about $400 million over 600 projects, we're creating a lot of jobs as a result of this. So not only are we advocates for the worker, we're helping giving opportunities to workers.
I'm going to ask a couple of questions more in our church. But Pope Francis has emphasized the importance of a church that goes forward, one that is close to the most vulnerable. How do you see the role of the church in response to this call from the Holy Father?
Well, I think the Holy Father has used that beautiful image of the church being a field hospital in which we don't wait inside of the church for people to come to us. We go to where people are. This project, I think, puts on full display a church that goes to where people are hurting to make sure that we're standing in solidarity with people whose lives have been destroyed and giving them an opportunity to move forward. So I hope that this project not only results in rebuilding and recovery, but also inspires and gives people hope about what the church can do.
Pope Francis has condemned the Synod of Hope as a space for reflection on the future of the church. From your perspective, what are the key paths the Holy Father envisioned for the church in this time, and how can we, as the people of God, respond to this call?
Well, I think that if you look at the theme of the Jubilee year, the Holy Father calls us to be pilgrims of hope, which means that we are to walk together, we are to accompany one another. This is what he means when he talks about a synodal church, that we take full responsibility for the church, but we also help each other along the way. Some people walk slower than others maybe stray off the path. Our job is to make sure that we stay together as we are pilgrims of hope moving into the future.
In a world marked by armed conflicts, growing social inequity, and the deterioration of natural resources, the church remains a beacon of hope for many. From your perspective, how can the universal church respond to this challenge and truly be a agent of peace, justice, and care for the creation and for the living people?
Well, that's a great question because what it does is it identifies that the church has a role, especially through the encyclical Laudato Si, of advocating on behalf of the environment. It's important for us to raise our voices as leaders in the church about protecting the environment and to ask the question of our people, what kind of world do we want to leave the next generation? Our times will pass. But we have to say, what are we doing now that's going to create damage or healing to a creation that's already been done? And we have responsibility with that. God has given us this wonderful planet of Earth. It's unique in the entire universe, and we have to make sure that we treat it in a way that's going to leave the next generation with a world that they can live in and thrive in.
Finally, my last question. The Puerto Rican community in Chicago has been a vibrant part of the local church for many decades. From your experience as Archbishop of Chicago, what lesson or contribution has the clergy and you as Archbishop and the Archdiocese in general received from the faith and life of the Puerto Rican community?
Well, as I began my remarks by noting the resiliency of the people of Puerto Rico, I see that in the communities, the Puerto Rican communities we have in Chicago. You are a people who don't give up easily in the face of challenges. And I think you inspire us to make sure that we don't rest on our successes, but also do not in any way give up because of our challenges. And that is a wonderful spirit that you have. Puerto Ricans are tough people in a good sense.
Yes.
They're fighters. They have firm belief in what their values are. And that's very important, especially whenever we have a society that is questioning what real truth is. Puerto Ricans are ready to say what's true and what's false. And that's what we need today.
Very nice. We'd like to thank you once
Thank
again that you took a couple of minutes to
Thank you, Luis.
give this word to the Catholic faith from the part of the Visitante in Puerto Rico.
Thank you, Luis.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you.